Going to call to order, meeting starting at 6:06 p.m. And can we get a roll call, please?
Board Member Dandy Evans, absent. Board Member Anyana, absent. Board Member Hegstrom,
Here.
Board Member Cotter is absent. Board Member Saketa,
Here.
Co-Chair Lee,
Here.
and Co-Chair Galloway.
Here.
Okay.
All right, moving on to agenda review and modifications.
We don't have any recommended modifications. I'm not sure if the board wanted to modify the agenda in any way. Okay.
All right, next we're going to move on to item C, report from the department.
Yes. So just wanted to give you some updates that we have just overall throughout the city. One is that the last city council meeting for 2023 will be happening on December 19th. And we plan to release the ECI grant at the end of this month, December 22nd, between the 22nd and the 2nd of the beginning of the year, between that time window. So please let those who you know might be interested in applying for the ECI grant fund that will be released between the 22nd and the 2nd of the year. So that's something to be aware of for the community. There is an anticipated city holiday closure between December 25th and January 1st. So City Hall is anticipated to be closed with council approval tomorrow night from the 25th to the 1st, and then would resume business on January 2nd, that Tuesday. Also, your first scheduled meeting would also fall on the holiday, which is the 1st. So we will be in contact with you about scheduling a special meeting during the month of January. And one of the things that we're working on is to provide a grants roadshow. So we have a few programs in the city that provide grant funding to community. The ECIA grant is one, Department of Children and Youth grant is another one. We also have the Love Your Block mini grant, as well as the Public Art mini grant program. And so what we would love to do is we're going to be hosting kind of a roadshow for nonprofit community, the business community, the faith community, and any other organizations, business community, to let them know about the opportunity to access grant funds, some of our sports leagues and teams, to let them know about opportunities to access not just ECI grant or Department of Children and Youth grant, but some of the others, and give them some of the requirements and kind of when they're anticipated to come out, the amounts they provide, and the ranges of services that are eligible for funding. And so that is going to be happening also in January. So we'll keep you posted on that. And LaShonda, I don't know if you have anything else. All right. So that, yes.
Did the city council approve our recommendation for public works?
So that's actually going to council on the 19th.
Oh, so they haven't been awarded any contract yet?
Not yet. So we had to, it's a good question. And so what happens is once you all approve it, we have to go into negotiations with them about the scopes of work. So to get to finalize what they will actually do, finalize what the final contract amount will be. And so that took us a few weeks to kind of nail down with Public Works. And so as a consequence, it ate up a little time, but it is on the council for December 19th for approval.
On the consent calendar?
Yes. Any other questions about any of the items here on your report?
Can I just ask one more?
Yes.
When is the next time people will be, this body will be awarding, putting out an RFP? I mean, sorry, a grant.
So the grant will, right now, the timeline roughly for the CNA SIP, we're going to take perhaps the next 6 months from January to June to complete the CNA SIP. And LaShonda, you can jump in here if you like. And we're going to be perhaps a little off schedule as far as the fiscal year release. But my guess is we will, if we stick to that 6 months, right, we'll probably be looking at the end of September-ish. Because what we don't want to do, and here's the thinking behind that, what we don't want to do is rush the CNA SIP, right? So if we were really strict about being right on top of the fiscal year, we would have to rush the CNA and the SIP so that we get it and then release by July 1st. And because this next grant cycle is going to be 3 years worth of funding, we prefer to be a little slower
Oh,
in.
okay, so the one we just did was not 3 years?
No.
It was only a 1 year, that's right.
It scaled every other year. So you were approving new grantees every year because the funding amount increased. This time, we are now getting a solid 3% every year. And once we award these grants, those grantees are going to be getting 3 years worth of funding. They will have a 3-year contract.
It's only going to be at
Once every 3 years. And so because of that, we don't want to rush that process. So, because we want to make sure that those organizations that you guys eventually fund are organizations that you're going to feel confident about funding for the next 3 years. And so we're going to be a little bit behind our schedule. Where it would have been coming in June, it might be coming in September, because we're going to take a little bit more time for the CNA and the strategic investment plan process.
Better to take the time and do it right.
So that's answer your question, LaShonda.
And I just want to add, one thing we are thinking about is with this shift, having it be, the grants be based on a calendar year instead of a fiscal year. We usually in the city do everything on a fiscal year, July to June, because that's how our money comes in. The reason we are thinking about shifting it is because a calendar year calendar year grant cycle will allow organizations who want to do summer programs to have that grant within the summer. So right now, summer starts in June, but we don't start our fiscal year till July. So it gets really interesting for organizations that really want to start something during the summer, or maybe just want to they don't have the money and we can't fund them ahead of, so if it's approved for July, you can't give them money if they started in June. So we're just, I think eventually we will settle on something, but we're still new. And so I think we'll figure it out if we think a calendar year or a fiscal year fits better for us. But I think we're thinking about trying a 3-year calendar year. Doesn't change the budget amount. We'll just have to do some internal budget keeping and finance, watching the budget, which we always do anyway. But that's some thinking around shifting it a little bit as well.
That concludes our report.
All right, moving on to item D, public forum.
Yes, we do have one comment, and it is from Cordell Hindler. He says, "Hello, Patrick. I'm submitting the following comments into the record. For a future agenda, the Oversight Board should revisit the status on the retreat. Second, the Senior Winter Ball is December 16th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Richmond Auditorium, $45 per person. Finally, he says there is going to be a new administrative services coordinator coming in 2024. He says sincerely, Cordell." And that is our only public comment.
All right, we're going to move down on the agenda to item E, consent calendar. This is to approve the minutes for the November 6, 2023 meeting of the Richmond Fund for Children and Youth Oversight Board.
Would any of the board members like to make a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
So that's a motion by board member Lee, co-chair Lee, second by co-chair Galloway. And we'll do just a brief roll call. Board member Cicada?
Yes.
Board member Hegstrom?
Yes.
Co-chair Lee?
Yes.
And co-chair Galloway?
Yes.
All right, and the minutes are approved unanimously. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, moving on to item F1, to receive a presentation on current City of Richmond survey efforts.
All right. Good evening, members of the Oversight Board. My name is Guadalupe Morales, as we've met many times. So I'm here to present on item F1, and we wanted to give you a brief overview on some survey efforts that we've been putting out. And a lot of this has, we feel strongly has a great and deep connection with the Oversight Board, so we wanted to bring this to your attention. And first of which is the 2023 City of Richmond Community Survey. And this has been a, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, a biennial survey we have been doing since 2007. I can put on the other one, sorry. Thank you. And it's been a great way for the city and staff to measure how our service delivery and opportunities and resources we've been doing over the last, I guess at this point, almost might be 2 decades. I guess we're going on, what is it, 16, 17 years? And it's really been vital for us to understand what the community needs and how, with many things that have come and gone, like the pandemic, with recessions, with many types of changes, to know what Richmond residents want. And this is a partnership that the city has with POLCO, or also the National Research Center National Citizen Survey. To date, we have about 8 annual reports. So if you want to see how much we have changed in many different topics and areas, they are on the website in the link here, and we'll happily send you all the links after the meeting as well. But it's been very helpful in building a comprehensive benchmark database to really understand what's going on. And historically, it has helped us influence and make fiscal decisions, and one of which I know in some ways has influenced how we have done the Department of Children Fund for Youth. And we have used it for things like our community needs assessment. I know our health and all policies program as well. So it really has fed into, parts of it has been kind of interfolded and interwoven with a lot of things that we do here at the City of Richmond. So yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to give you a better snapshot of what the reports look like. Again, the links are all on the website, and I was hoping to hopefully zoom this in better, but I don't think I was able to. But a good example of how the report ends up looking. This is from one of the pages from the 2021 community survey, and it shows things like how residents are perceiving things like overall economic health, how folks, overall feeling of safety, how folks feel about recreational opportunities. So this really kind of gives us an opportunity to look at this and bring it back to our departments and be like, hey, well, we need to do more opportunities for families to do while, in between that moment of kids being after school and, families coming home from work. Like, is there a gap of services that we need there? So this has helped us kind of inform a lot of those decisions. Next slide. And so with that, we have some flyers here. I don't know if Lashana maybe wants to add a little bit more on the survey aspect, but we do have a survey. We have it open until the end of the year. We would love for you all to participate in this. Links there. I think we might have some flyers for you. If not, then I think you should be able to scan the QR code with your phone. But we have English and Spanish. We really hope that you're able to contribute to this. And not also that, but to also contribute and share with your networks as well. We want to hear from as many folks as possible. And part of the survey getting information too is how we have been able to reach out and get folks to participate in that. So that has also been changing in the last few years. So we are definitely trying to big push online these last few months, and hopefully that we can get more participants and respondents. All right, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the library infrastructure project. So really exciting news with the library. So library has received a nearly $10 million grant from the California State Library, and we received an additional $15 million appropriation from the council in May. And a lot of this funding is to address life safety maintenance issues going on with the library as well. Things have been kind of falling apart the last few years. And with that, we have this great opportunity to hear from the public and from you all on how our renovations can really align with our needs for our residents, for folks on our oversight board, and many of our commissions and boards and folks who just tend to use the library a lot. So we hope to hear from you on this. Next slide. And we have a number of engagement opportunities with y'all. So we have a few things going on. We have 2 upcoming community meetings. One is virtual, and it's actually this Wednesday, and it's from 6:30 to 7:45. We have the Zoom link there, and again, we'll send this to you all after the meeting. We really hope you can join us. We'll get a little bit more information on the background and how the project's moving forward so far. And you'll be able to do a little bit of QA and share your feedback and experiences on maybe what you want to see with the library, maybe what hasn't worked in the past, so they're able to implement that as the project and renovations go on. And then after that, there's an in-person meeting for those who want to go in person on December 14th, and I believe that's a Thursday. And that one's from 6 to 7:15 at the main library. And I don't think I wrote it here, but both of these will have interpreters at the meeting. It might be me, it might be someone else. So if you know of any folks who might be Spanish speakers who might want to join, we'll definitely have translation and interpretation available for them as well. And then even if you're not able to attend it, or if you are, we really hope that you could share your feedback through our surveys. So we have 2 links there as well. Please, we would love for you to fill it out and share your experience and your ideas. And if not, or in addition to that, if you can also share with your networks as well. So we really want to hear from as many people as possible. Next slide. And again, just wanted to really highlight the connection and how it could relate to you all. As you are an oversight board that is very centered on serving youth and families, you are big overseers and can help us make recommendations on what kinds of programs and resources and opportunities we need to make for youth serving organizations. We find that you have a big role in shaping how a lot of these programs roll out in the future. You know, as right now, I think we have, 60 plus grantees that are granted through our fund. So it's a big impact that you all are pushing through and have been pushing through in just 3 years. So we want to continue to stress that that is a big role that you all have, and it's an important one, and it's a positive influence on that. And a big part, too, of the library is that they are actually eligible to receive children and youth grant funds. So any sort of input that is put there can really contribute towards renovations, towards any sort of future programming that we find that will benefit youth and their families. So with that, we hope that you will stay deeply committed to this and help us participate in other ways to contribute to our surveys, and we want to hear from you all. Cool. All right. Any questions or feedback or additional comments? Cool. Thank you.
I just want to add, thank you so much, Lupe, but please, 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 and please share information. We have just like 3 more weeks before the community survey closes, and we want to get as much feedback from Richmond residents as possible. We really do use the results in many ways. And then for the library, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We have $30 million. 20 of that 30 came from the city's general fund. And as Lupe stated, or 20 came from the city via ARPA or the general fund, and then the other 10 came from a grant. And so we have an opportunity to change, not the outside, because it's an historic building. So the outside of the library will continue to look like it looks in terms of the brick facade, but we'll be able to do some improvements to the landscape and then really change the way the inside of the library looks and talk about services. And so this is such a huge opportunity for us. Library staff has been going to other libraries, trying to vision what we want to see at the library. We're going to provide some information to those who join our meetings just to see what other new libraries look like. And there's just some really exciting things happening out there in the world of libraries. So this library is special to me. I grew up at this library. It looks exactly the same as it looked when I was little, minus the card catalog. I was talking to somebody about the card catalog. They were like, what is that? I was like, oh, am I that? Oh my gosh, y'all dated me. That hurt my feelings a little bit. But we want to just give it a new internal face, and we're just really excited. So please, if you work with any families who are using it or should be using it, you know, that should be everyone, share so we can get as much input from our diverse community as possible. Thank you.
What about input from like our youth? I know that, is that something that we can do, like allowing them to be able to access the survey, or, you know, if they want to, okay.
Yes, so if you have access to any young people through the school district, through your organizations, please help us push out the survey. We also, not necessarily our consultants, but city staff is willing to go to places where young people are at and have an opportunity just to talk to them. And maybe 3 questions, like if you're already a group of young people getting together, parents getting together, please let us know and invite us. We have a number of city staff, including staff from the library or recreation, that is willing to do that work to just get more feedback. So as you can imagine, we have limited resources with our consultants, and they're doing multiple larger community meetings. They're doing some focus groups, so some nonprofit organizations and other community residents are being invited to participate in focus groups. And then, of course, we have the survey. But we are, definitely willing and open to supplement to make sure we hear from youth. So your help would be greatly appreciated. If you want to join us and help us ask questions, we'll take you with us. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to go to the last slide. I totally forgot. Yeah, so anyhow, with this, as LaShonda mentioned, yes, please share. We definitely want to hear from everyone. I feel like even for me, I think I got my first library card at like 8, and I feel like it's always been such an impact on you growing up that I finally got my library card again a few months ago. So, yeah. Now there's audiobooks and digital books, and like you have so many ways of accessing library services now, so that's great. But yeah, with that, we do hope to come back once the survey closes with the results of that. We definitely want to take that on a mini roadshow as well to show what the trends have even changed from last year, because 2021 was kind of right in the middle of the pandemic, and I'm assuming 2023 might be showing some different trends, so it might be interesting to see. And then with that too, we want to also come back with any updates on the library infrastructure project as well. So at that point, the 2 community meetings and hopefully a little bit more survey input has been coming in, so we can hopefully present how that's going as well. As I mentioned, it's great valuable feedback. We want to hear from you all, and we hope that we can work together on that. Cool, thank you. And then it should be on the other slide, so cool.
All right, thank you. We're gonna, do we want to do a quick roll call?
Yes. So, bravo. So for the record, we're noting that Board Member Dandy Evans has joined the meeting at 6:20 p.m. I did note. So, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yes.
All right, so agenda item F2, receive.
Before, I want to make sure we don't have any public speakers for this item.
No.
Thank you.
Item F2, receive mid-year report for fiscal year 2023 and 2024.
Thank you. Next slide. So the Department of Children and Youth in the last 3 years has been very busy. You all are very much aware of that. But for this particular fiscal year, we just wanted to highlight some of the things that we've gotten done and what our outlook is as far as what we're hoping perhaps to get done through the end of this fiscal year as well. Some highlights are we did enter into new grant agreements with new grantees, and we also executed grant amendments for all of our prior year grantees. So everyone that you've awarded in the past 2 years has been approved for amendments and moving forward. We are currently still in the works with our grants management system, which will help facilitate improved payment processing reporting for our grantees, because that is sometimes a heavy lift, not only for our grantees, but also for staff. And so trying to leverage technology to improve how grantees can submit for the reporting and also invoicing for reimbursement for services they've rendered is something that is very much on our mind. Additionally, you all have engaged with our evaluator at your last meeting. They came in and did the presentation, and they are very excited about working with you. You probably have received some communication from them regarding the areas that you might have identified that you'd be willing to support. Furthermore, as Board Member Hegstrom highlighted, you approved a recommendation for entering an agreement with Public Works, LLC, for our CNA, our Community Needs Assessment and Strategic Investment Plan, which we've shared, and that is set to go to the council on the 19th. Additionally, we brought on Guadalupe Morales full-time to the Department of Children and Youth, and we're very excited about her in that role. And there is also, it's also been approved to bring on an additional staff person in the department as an analyst as well. Given that we are also the staff that facilitates this grant, it's also the staff that facilitates the ECIA grant, the more the merrier. So we need as many hands as we can have. And so we will probably be bringing on another staff person before the end of June of this year into the department. We're also very happy to have Abdul on our team. The manager's office is trying to steal him, but I'm not going to let that happen. So we are very excited about Abdul. When he came in, he hit the ground running, and he has been really instrumental in not only our social media channels, but social media channels and a lot of the marketing that you see with the needs assessment, the survey for the library, the survey for the city, has all been his work, and we're very happy about that. And he supported us even around our budget development process. He's been instrumental, and so we're having to work very hard to hold on to him, but I'm not going to let him go. Next slide. Yes. Everybody wants an Abdul now that we got one. So here's some more specifics that we've done. So we've entered into 19 new grant agreements for our 2024. Those agreements have been submitted for our legal opinion, and they're currently in DocuSign, so people are signing and executing those agreements for this fiscal year, as well as our amendments and reimbursement for grantees have already begun. People have already submitted requests, and people have already been receiving their funding for their first quarter, which is July through September. Next slide. So this is regarding West Ed. Just again, some of the things that we've done. We released our RFP. We are currently developing a scripted demo for our grant management CRM, and the needs assessment and the evaluators, they will be actually working in concert, so they're not duplicating services. Next slide. I think we've spoken to this. So that's it. So I don't know if there are any questions regarding the evaluation, the CNA SIP, which we've kind of shared a little bit about, or any of the technology that we're hoping to implement going forward. But that really is just a snapshot of some of the things that we've done and some of the things we're hoping to do specifically this year. One other thing I would like to add is Lupe will be, and I think she has been communicating with folks regarding the ad hoc committee. So the retreat is definitely something that we want to have happen. And so I don't know if Lupe can speak to where we are with that.
We're still scheduling the first one, but we definitely will be meeting before
Okay.
before the end of the year, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there are any questions regarding what we shared thus far.
I would like to just add, in terms of what we want to also do, is continue with recruitment for oversight board members. So something we've internally within the past 6 months have had conversations about. I know some of you have mentioned it as well, but we do plan on connecting with the mayor's office, because the mayor's office, per our charter, is the one that takes items to council for consideration in placing individuals on boards and commissions. So we plan on working closely with the mayor's office in trying to recruit additional members so you can have a full body.
There are no public speakers for this item.
All right, moving on to item F3 to discuss social media blurb videos for social media outreach campaigns.
Good evening, Oversight Board. My name is Abdul Black. I'm here to discuss social media blurb videos for social media outreach campaigns. Our social media campaigns are standardized social media and outreach campaigns. We want them to be approachable. We want them to have a template from Oversight Board members. We want something to when we reach out to the community and see that they know that's for the Richmond Fund for Children and Youth Oversight Board, something that looks unison across all platforms. We want to do it in multiple languages. We know there are members of the Oversight Board who speak Spanish and other languages, so if possible, we would love to get that recorded as well. And we'll be able to make this available through print and verbal campaigns. What we're recommending today is that we actually go ahead and record them upon completion of this meeting. I do have everything set up and we can get that done. It's only gonna take about 5 minutes of your time, if that. Yeah, so if you guys are ready to do it, we can go ahead and get that done. I gave, everybody should have scripts in English and Spanish.
Now, Abdul, I had a hat on today. I would have been better prepared for you. How, do you want us to each as a group or individually?
It would be individually, and it will also be something as a group. Since we are coming into the holiday season, I would like to get some type of happy holidays from, you know, the Fund for Children and Youth Oversight Board. So that would be
wore a
great.
Christmas shirt for you.
That would be great. And these are the blurbs again. If you wanted to see them, they're also in front of you. And they have been updated. The Spanish ones have been translated, of course. Do you guys have any questions or feedback? I know that there was one more item that we wanted to bring up. We discussed at the last meeting that we're going to be ordering merchandise. So I do have, I guess, blanks of the items that we will be purchasing, so you guys could get quality tested and see what it'll feel like before we actually purchase them. I'm gonna pass those around really quick.
You don't get presents yet. These are pre-presents. You can see maybe what you will receive, but this is just to see the quality, just the quality of the material before we put some of our beautiful logos
We're getting your pre-approval.
on. We have a sweatshirt, a hoodie, right?
Yes.
A regular sweatshirt, and then a light tee and a heavier tee. But if you have any comments or something else you want to see, let us know.
So one of them's a sweatshirt without a hood, right?
Correct.
We're still getting hats, right?
Yes, the hats are gonna be on the way. They don't do the samples for the hats. They said they weren't going for it.
Abdul, are the hats fitted hats or the ones the adjustable?
They're the ones with the adjustable back. Kinda, yeah. They call them like dad hats, I guess you can say. That's what they're
Dad hat.
categorized as, yeah.
So I just have a comment statement. I sometimes get T-shirts, and after a few washings, stuff wears off. Logos.
So the
I want to. I don't know if there's anything. I mean, probably I shouldn't put it in the dryer or something like that.
so the
I'm wondering if there's a way to make sure it's on really thick so it stays.
yeah, the company that we're going with is used by different municipalities across the city. So they're tried and tested. We haven't had any bad reviews with the people that they get used by. So we wanted to make sure that we're getting something of quality and with somebody that we trust to do it as well.
I think we are using the same one that Recreation
Yes.
uses, and I know Lupe has a bunch of stuff I do as well. I wear it even when I'm not going to a Recreation event, so. Thank you, Abdul, for all your work. Any questions? And you all look wonderful today, if that helps. I think you all are ready.
Everything's look good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, she already wants the red one. She already wants the red hoodie. Just give us a minute.
All right. If that will be all for today, that we are going to adjourn the meeting today at 6:40 p.m.
Showtime.
Showtime. Thank you.